Are you a small business owner, a trader, a school owner, a federal civil servant, a Lagos or Edo civil servant, a farmer or a farm supply merchant? Do you need a loan or wish to fix your money for a high yield interest? Talk to us today and get your loan in less than 24 hours. Visit our website on www.lapo-nigeria.org or call us on 0813-984-0230. Email info@lapo-nigeria.org.
Globally, businesses and corporations are faced with challenges that requires fresh thinking on strategy, leadership, and governance to survive. The Anchor is a program designed to help organizations and individuals to be skilled in handling challenges. Join Dr. Osare Emokai, a development economist and a corporate strategist, for this interactive, informative, educative program.
Pleasant day to you out there. You are welcome to this exciting moment with the Anchor. We were talking about communication technology. We looked at it in the previous episode, and today we'll be doing the part B of communication technology. With me on my right is Deputy Rector of John School of Management, Dr. Ayodele Oluyede. You are welcome, sir, to this.
Thank you very much.
And also to my right, extreme left, is Mr. Tony Anya. Anthony Anya is a Deputy Registrar of John School of Management, also the Media Director of Mindshare Communication. You are welcome, Mr. Anya.
Thank you, Mr.
We'll quickly go on a short break and we'll be right back.
Globally, businesses and corporations are faced with challenges that requires fresh thinking on strategy, leadership, and governance to survive. The Anchor is a program designed to help organizations and individuals to be skilled in handling challenges. Join Dr. Osare Emokai, a development economist and a corporate strategist, for this interactive, informative, educative program.
You're welcome back after that short break. We are looking at ICT Career Part 2 and looking at the main topic of that, the Part B of communication technology. We stopped at TCP, and we'll just quickly want to go back to Dr. Oluyede to run through some of these critical elements we looked at rather in the last episode, and we'll move on from there. So, Dr. Oluyede, what do we understand by client software?
Oh yes, thank you very much. Before we move to this client software, I would like to quickly revisit the previous critical element discussed yesterday. You know, we discussed, of course, there are various or 6 critical elements that are necessary to connect devices to the internet. So, as we discussed yesterday, we have the device itself, then we have operating system, then we have a TCP/IP, which is a protocol that serves as a set of rules and regulations that guide the transmission of data from one point to another. So today we'll start with the client software as part of the critical element. This client software is a type of software that has to navigate from one point to another in order to retrieve data or element from the web. So of course another one is the internet service provider, which serves as the gateway between the device and the internet. And of course the last one is IP address. This IP address, Internet Protocol Address, is a unique address that identifies a device on the internet or local network. These are the 6 critical elements that are required for connecting devices to the internet. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Oluyede, for taking us through briefly on the critical elements in connecting to the internet. Just like as we're talking, without these elements, if any part of it is missing, you will not be able to connect to the internet. That's what you are trying to explain, sir.
Yes, for perfection, for efficient functioning of your system. When you say, you are connecting to the internet, there's a difference from connecting to the internet perfectly and connecting to the internet partially. For efficient functioning, this critical element must be present.
So we will now say that that's some of the reasons why, apart from the network, some of the reasons why you see when you connect, you start seeing some kind of delay while you want to connect to the internet.
Yes, if you at times when you connect to the internet, or you are trying to browse, or you send message from one point to another, if you didn't get through, you don't have to blame one person, because there are a lot of parties that are involved in this system, and that's just it.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Anya, you want to take us there? I learned there are several types, ways of connecting to the internet. Can you just take us through some of the types that we have?
Yes, just like the critical element that Dr. Loyede had just mentioned. So we say we have 7. The first of them is called dial-up access. That's a system where a modem, usually we know what a modem is either attached to a laptop or computer, and then it uses a standard telephone line to connect to that internet. That's number 1.
So without that telephone line, you can't connect?
No. If your modem, for instance, the SIM card inside the modem is falling off, you can't connect. So it depends solely on the telephone line to connect. Another one is the exact opposite of dial-up access. It uses a cable. In that one,
sorry, Mr. Anya, I want us to take it step by step. When you say dial-up now, that means you now need to dial. There's the instructions you need to follow.
You don't necessarily need to dial.
Okay.
Once the modem is attached, it's just left to you now to click the normal way you want to connect your computer, and then it goes to the modem and then activate it. If there's a SIM card that is charged, provided that SIM card is there and is charged, or there's data in it, otherwise you will not connect. Second one is the cable system. It doesn't use telephone line, just like the dial-up access. In that one, a service provider just provides a cable that is connected to a computer to provide service directly. And then the third one is what is abbreviated as DSL, meaning digital subscriber line, that is of high speed internet connection. That one uses a regular copper telephone lines. And then we have the broadband satellite, that is a high speed connection to the internet by way of satellite. There is another one that uses the smartphones and tablets and devices. That's what is now known as the 3G, 4G, and that there's 5G now. So that's the fifth one. And then there's the Wi-Fi that is usually used by a number of people, either in a family or in the office. We normally call Wi-Fi, but it's called wireless fidelity. So that one uses radio signals to provide internet connection to wireless computers and devices. If we in the family, for instance, somebody can be browsing from computer while other people will be browsing from their phones. That means they are making use of the Wi-Fi. And then the last one that I mentioned is called fiber optic service. It is the newest type of internet connection, and it connects to the internet using light pulses over a fiber optic network. These are the ones that are available for us to connect to the internet.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Mr. Anya, later. Dr. Oloride, you can help us with, for our audience out there, you can help us, can you suggest, out of all of this type that has been mentioned, the most efficient in terms of usage in connecting to the web or to the internet?
Looking at various means of connecting to the internet, I like to add one to it, which is satellite communication. So, in addition to what Mr. Anyo talked about, the satellite communication is a channel or means of connecting to the internet, especially for remote in remote areas. You know, this satellite communication is launched into the space. So it's a newest technology in communication. So, you know, if you're in the village and there's no, for example, if you have a relative in villages now and you want to call them, you know, if there's no connect or means of connecting your signal to that place, there's no way they can receive it. You can see if you are moving from one town to another, you will see along the road what we call it repeaters. You know, that repeater is just a mast erected where we have a kind of antenna, you know, up. So as you are moving, if you die a particular network now, that signal will be redirected to the base station, and that base station, you know, charge that person. That base station will redirect that signal through the repeaters and to be moving until it get to its final destination. But what of if there's no provision for this mast or repeaters? What do we do? Then you come to what you call satellite communication, which is launched into the space. This satellite communication launch, you can remember during the past government, they launched what we call NIGCOMSAT-1. And so that NIGCOMSAT-1 was built to live for 15 years lifespan. But unfortunately, it got missing. You understand? You know, technology, it wasn't the fault of anybody. So, but I believe that
Have they launched another one?
I learned that they wanted to launch that NIGCOMSAT-2, but I'm not sure if. But I believe, you know, because the government, our present government, I think they are working towards, you know, doing that thing, because I think they also have love for technology, and you know, for any country to develop, you know, there has to be a very developed technology. So that satellite communication is being added now. So I think among all those things, if you have to consider the best one, I think satellite communication could have been the best.
Okay, we are not there yet as a nation, from what I've been able to get from you. We are not there yet as a nation. If we are about launching the NIGCOMSAT-2, and given what is on ground now, I am just taking from what you've said, the north has a very mass land, and in terms of putting mass and all, connectivity becomes an issue. You know, in some of our operations, in the area of security that we're involving, you find that even connecting to some of those operations in the north is a major challenge. And I think that's one of the reasons why I asked you which one is the most preferred or most efficient in terms of connecting to people when you want to reach out to them, especially when they are in the forest, for instance, or what do we call them now? In the desert.
Yeah.
Because there are some parts in Nigeria that are just desert lands and all, but there are people staying around those places. So we will take it from here that we are not there as a nation, like Dr. Oloide has said, and as a business concern and as an institution, that's why John is here to ensure that people coming in are well trained, have the capacity, the skill gaps are covered, and you know, they're well trained to offer these solutions to the nation and the environment that we find ourselves. We will take it all from there, looking at web addresses, server names, web addresses are server names given to to servers. Usually, when you see the word www, it's server name, given to a server to help you add some other elements to it to connect. We'll quickly go on a short break, and after the short break, we'll continue the discussion. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Ed Jones School of Management, Innovation and Enterprise, inventing the future. Here at Ed Jones School of Management, we see the big picture. We are inventing a world-class institution, an institution at the core of cutting-edge research, learning, and entrepreneurship, with the largest population in Africa and a rapidly growing youth population, accounting for over 50% of the population. Nigeria is a collection of great possibilities, and we are poised to provide direction in harnessing these raw talents for a more prosperous future with the world-class teaching faculty and facilities. Our goal is to produce the very best, able to hold their own anywhere in the world. Ed John is helping to lay the groundwork for Nigeria's push into the areas of artificial intelligence, robotics, and entrepreneurship, innovative skills which increasingly shape today's global economy. We are accredited by the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, and bridging the gap between academia and the real business world, where innovation is solving real-life problems, with partnerships with world-class institutions to produce graduates who are recognized both locally and internationally. Our partnerships open up doors for our graduates to more learning opportunities and even careers that are able to transform individual lives and the nation at large. Helping to create innovative solutions to issues currently facing our society locally and internationally is what we are about. Ideas are the currency our learners trade in, and we provide the environment to grow these ideas to propose world-changing solutions. Here at Ed John, we are clear about our goals and are creating the solutions with technology and entrepreneurship. Ed John School of Management, Innovation and Enterprise.
Welcome back after that short break. We are looking at web addresses, and we mentioned when you see the letters www, it means something. Dr. Lady in the previous episode did mention is what you're trying to say is World Wide Web. That is what it simply means. And with this element, there are other components or letters that must be attached for you to reach out in connecting. But without that www, you will just find yourself struggling to connect to some of the websites that are out there. Moving on, we have what we call domain name. That is the registered name of the specific website. So for the purpose of this discussion, we are talking about the school that the two gentlemen here represent. So the three letters there are www. What does it mean? It means World Wide Web. With that three letters, there must be an attachment, what we call the domain name. The domain name is that registered name you have put out there for people to recognize you with. And for the purpose of this discussion, the gentleman here sitting with me, are representing an institution called Ed John School of Management. So if you must access their website, you have to type in www.edjohnschoolofmanagement all together. The last part of it, of that word, of that letter you're typing into the URL has to be either a .com, that .com or .ng, .edu or whatsoever will enable you to access that website. So for the gentleman sitting here, their website is www.ejohnschoolofmanagement.edu because it's an educational or it's an institution. I'm right, sir?
Yes, yes.
So you have to type in .edu for you to access that website. We'll employ you to go to the website. Those of us who wants to study computer science, want to employ you to go to that website and encourage you to begin to register. That's one of the purpose of this episode today. We want to encourage the audience out there to go and register. The learnings we are getting from here are from these two gentlemen who are pushing and ensuring that our adolescents and youths out there are well trained, helping them to hone their skills as they move into the society. So we'll move on from there. When we are looking at web address, we've taken the two layers, which is the server name, which is the www. We've taken the domain name, which is the registered name of that organization you are representing. And then the last one is what I've mentioned, that must come in, you must put .edu, for the government government parastatals, you have to put .gov. So looking at the web address, there have to be three elements that must come into play for you to access any website. And those three elements, as we've said before, there must be the server name, which is the domain name, and the last part, which has to do with either is a country, a school, blended together to give you the full name. So for the purpose of this discussion today, we'll want to look at EdJohn. We want to direct you to EdJohn. So we need to type in on our URL space www.ed/John or EdJohn. For that John to become EdJohn to be complete, you have to put a hyphen. So it's ed-john.edu.ng. That gives you access to the website of EdJohn School of Management for you to get all the necessary information. Anyone we are able to give to you by this gentleman sitting with me, you can access the website and get all necessary information and make your inquiries. So for instance, you want to add a country to it. Let's say Canada, it has to be, the last part has to be .ca. You want to go maybe Japan, it has to be .jp. Government, it has to be .gov. That makes a complete website address. The other part of it, like I said, if it's education, it has to be .edu. The reason why EdJohn has .edu is because it's an educational institution. That's why you have .edu for you to gain access. Dr. Luride, what I think you can help us with when we talk about key website technologies, that terminology, what do we mean?
Yes, thank you. Before we discuss the key web technology, as discussed or described earlier on by Mr. Ebi, if you want to relate it to the website of the school of EdJohn School of Management, it will be www.ed-john.edu.ng. So looking at this web site address, then I would like to take us through the three key web technology, which are the HTML, meaning hypertext markup language. The second one, URLs, which means uniform resource locators. And of course, the third one, HTTP, which is hypertext transfer protocol. Now, I will try to explain these three important components. The first one, which is HTML, is the language of the our website. So this is the programming language that that we can use to design the website. And the second one, which is URL, is just a portion on the website where you type in your address, as explained by Mr. Ebi. And the third one is HTTP, which is a protocol. You know, in the in our previous explanation, we discussed protocol as a set of rules and regulations that guide the transfer of data from one place to another. So this HTTP is the protocol that we use on the internet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lede. Just the last part you took on the key web technologies, the last part, there's an introduction into the last part, which is hypertext transfer protocol. There must have to be an S. Am I right? The
yes.
last part, showing that that site is a secure site for you to access.
Yes, of course.
No, we're talking about assessing sites, and all. One needs to be careful. So I think you can just enlighten us on that.
You are right. Yeah. If adding S to HTTPS, it make our people to ensure that the site is secured. So just adding S to HTTP to make it HTTPS is very okay, which make it secure, because when you visit any website, you have to ensure that it's a secure website for you not to fall victim of any fraudsters or any hackers. Thank you.
Concord Security Services provides impeccable security services to its diverse clients, from banking to telecoms, from international examination institutions to big restaurants. Our emphasis on the use of cutting-edge technology to provide solutions to prevalent security challenges gives us a competitive edge in the industry. Our array of services include man guarding, CCTV, perimeter fencing, full body scanners, metal detectors, VIP protection, escort services, due diligence, and event security. We offer extensive trainings to our security personnel to improve their physical fitness, mental alertness, and exceptional skills in managing complexity at our 2 training centers in Ed John School of Management and in Ilasa office. Engage our services today and let us give you peace of mind. Concord Security and Protocol Services Limited is located at 25 Abiyakuta Street off Beliat Bus Stop, Ilasamaja, Oshodi Apapa Expressway, Lagos. Telephone 0805-690-8568 or 0805-119-9931. Send a mail to info@concordsecurityng.com or visit our website at www.concordsecurityng.com.
Time will not permit us. There are some other links also that are sent to one these days that will have, I think, I'm not sure, that has LLB or whatever. And oftentimes those sites are not secure. So this program is to guide us, to help us ensure that we're going to the right sites and we're not victims of, not playing victims to hackers. It's on this note we want to draw the curtain of this episode on the anchor. Still encouraging you to stay glued to the station as we come your way next program. Bye and God bless you.